A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. If you need a website or a domain, go to squarespace.com/James for 10% off your first purchase.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Isle of Skye where Emily and I are. I thought I was going to be able to make that whole thing rhyme then. We're here for a week, we've been here for a couple of days and I've not done any filming so far. I've been attempting to holiday, but today I thought I would at the Quirang. My aim as always is to mispronunciate things as much as possible in the hope that people will correct me. It's no good only getting it a little bit wrong. People might let it slide. You need to get it completely wrong. Quirang. Might as well call it Bolton. Fog makes everything look cool, I would say.
Unless it covers it completely.
Yes, well there is that. It's gone absolutely freezing here in northwest Scotland. Who'd have thought it? But yeah, never mind. We've packed sensibly. Emily's got about 37 layers on.
My hat.
And your hat, good. I didn't bring a woolly hat. Idiot. This year, I'm sure I don't need to tell you, has been rubbish for most people. It's not actually been that bad for me and Emily. The thing we've had to worry about most is not being able to come on trips like this, which we can wait for. It's not really a problem. But what I have learnt this year, I've learnt many things this year, but one of the things I've learnt is just how important an inspiring subject is. People say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and well, the absence of trips like this for me this year has been a real example of that, I would say. The thing is, you can read all the camera reviews you want, all the lens reviews, you can watch all the videos about camera bags, even tripods if you're that way inclined, but ultimately there's no point having any of those unless you're able to go to places where you'll use that stuff. And yeah, the last 2 days in Skye has been, well, I've used my cameras and stuff more than I have in months, which has been wonderful. So yeah, for me, without doubt, the most important thing in a photographer's toolkit is an inspiring subject. It's what's in front of the camera that matters. I mean, people say it's what's behind the camera that matters, but yeah, I think what's in front of the camera is also more important than the actual camera itself. And if you've been stuck indoors like me all year, it's easy to forget that. Would you say Skye is an inspiring subject?
I would, yeah. I thought you were talking about me for a minute.
Inspiring subject?
But Skye is also good.
Always, my dear. Just to give an indication of what Emily decides is a sensible lunch portion, the size of that. You've got to say for yourself.
For two people though.
So yeah, basically this week the hope is that over the next few days I'll continue to feel inspired, and that will fuel me to the rest of the year when hopefully we'll be allowed to do more trips, which are quite important if you want to make your living taking pictures of places that you don't live.
It's mainly been the back garden so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, not really a back garden type photographer. Although I could have, no, I was going to talk about the mouse.
Oh God, don't. Oh.
Emily thought she killed a mouse earlier this week. Would you like to tell the boys and girls what happened?
Oh, well, we've got one of those washing lines that like comes off the wall and you pull it out and hook it onto the floor.
Hang on. Does this feel more natural?
No.
Tell us what happened.
So the washing line, pull it across the garden, hook it on, but the big chunky bit on the wall fell off, it broke, it came out the wall, smashed onto the ground, all the washing obviously fell on the floor. Then when I picked it up, there was this squashed, like a dead mouse where it had fallen, and I thought the mouse had just been in the wrong place at the wrong time and had been killed by the washing line.
That is hilarious. I, to be honest, had seen the mouse a couple of days before. I didn't tell you immediately that Emily wasn't the perpetrator.
I just thought, what bad timing for that poor mouse, and what poor reaction skills it had.
So I think that is the needle. Could be wrong. So yeah, reasonably sure that this is the needle. I can't imagine there are many other things that look like needles as much as this around here, so. Very echo, isn't it? Oh! Oh! So you'll know that if you come here. You're welcome. So how many have you had?
2.
Are you sure? No.
You got 3.
No.
Yeah.
You've had 2 today.
No. Sorry. No, I've got 2.
In case you're wondering, we're just arguing about cookies. Emily's definitely had more than I have. It's a joke. Well, call me a pessimist, but I think today's photography might be over. This is the current scene. Visibility basically 0, which is a bit of a shame, but tomorrow the plan is to go somewhere even more inspiring, if the pictures I've seen of it are to be believed. So that's very exciting, and just going to go home and charge my microphone because it's about to die. Good news, look, the clouds lifted, which is perfect for here because, well, it's amazing and I'd hate to have missed it. So I've been taking photos of cars, and there's now a man and his dog down there, which is also quite a nice shot. Not that you can see it at 8mm, which is what I'm taking these photos at, but I know it was there. So I've got no idea if you can hear any of this because there's a good chance that the mic. Morning all, and welcome to the old Man of Storr, where we've been for the last hour or so, have we?
Yeah, 55 minutes.
Hands are cold enough to feel like that, and I haven't really done any filming, mostly because there are other photographers there and I don't want to ruin their morning, and also I was concentrating on trying to get a photo, which I was doing in high-res mode, so I was using a tripod, believe it or not. Oh yeah, and the microphone, as you can probably hear, hopefully, is charged again. Believe it or not, it did run out yesterday as I said the word microphone. Yep, gone wrong already. Hello, superstar. You must be absolutely freezing.
So cold, are we done?
Yes, we're done. How's your book?
Yeah, good.
What have you been reading about?
Talking about beavers.
Beavers?
Uh-huh.
Can you give us any facts on beavers? Willing to share with the group?
That the UK needs to get on board with reintroducing beavers into the wild. The rest of Europe and America, I think, and Canada have been using them to help like flood defences and improve biodiversity. But
Right.
England are really wary. They think that they are harmful to human health.
More beavers in the UK.
Yeah, there's some in Devon, and Scotland have led the way.
Right, well.
It's really interesting. I mean, I know it doesn't sound that interesting.
No,
It's
no,
interesting.
I didn't expect to learn about beavers here at the Old Man of Storr. I've filled this up too much. And it's on a slant, so it's about to...
You have a knack of doing that, don't you? I think that's... Oh, God. So grim.
There we go. So we're heading back out for the afternoon, and that is what Emily has deemed a sensible amount of food for the afternoon. What's that?
I thought we might get hungry.
You reckon?
Packed some provisions.
You know it's the afternoon, right? We're coming back here later.
I know, but you want to stay for sunset, and that might just get a bit late.
Right.
And we've got loads of food to eat. So, too cool, He's a chopper as well, so he's
Yeah, and he's sort of side on as well. We're watching a lady who just won't stop talking to this couple of strangers who very clearly want to leave.
Yeah, they're standing really far away from her.
She's been going for about 10 minutes.
Probably hear her. They're talking about her friend who's fallen in the water.
Which we haven't seen. We would quite like to see, to be honest. Anyway, welcome back to this photography channel. There's not much photography going on at the moment. I did fly the drone at this, what's this beach called?
I won't try and pronounce it, but I think the English way of saying it is Coral Beach.
Coral Beach.
But it's a Gaelic.
Beach? Coral Beach. We're basically passing time until sunset.
Oh, it's really nice though.
Which...
The sand is super white because it's just crushed up coral.
Yeah. there might not be a sunset tonight. There's 5 hours or so until we'll know. But you got any stories you can tell? Oh, what's that? We've been speaking about animals loads in this video, so why not carry on? You had another animal story from last week, aside from dead mice.
When I went for a run.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
So I went for a run in the morning, and this like loaf of bread flew from the sky, landed like really, really close to me, like it nearly hit me in the head. I thought someone had thrown it out of the house at me when I was on my run.
Protest.
But I think it was a crow. Like when I looked up, there was like a big bird with like the rest of the loaf of bread in its mouth. But yeah, I thought someone had thrown bread at me.
Right, we have arrived at our final spot of the day, which is Neist Lighthouse. Again, don't know how you say it. And I say we've arrived, but I also don't know where it is. But I'm going to find it, take a photo, and go home, because there's no sign of a sunset at all. And, well, we're quite tired after a 4:30 a.m. start. So, yeah. Do you ever find as a photographer that when you get up for a sunrise, you kind of want sometimes for there to be no sunset so that you can call it a day early and go and sleep? Maybe it's just me being lazy, but I find that a lot. So I'll actually be quite relieved if I don't have to wait a couple more hours in the wind for a sunset. Just get a nice overcast photo instead. There it is. Well, that looks a bit scary, but that looks awesome. Look at that. Anyway, I've got to hurry up because Emily's reading and absolutely freezing, I imagine. So, name of the game with this, I think, is, well, a couple of different shots, I imagine. It's quite cool having all this stuff kind of bending round to the lighthouse itself. And I also like the longer shot where, well, you obviously get a bit more of a dramatic cliff face, which loads of people don't see when they come here, because by the looks of it they just walk up to the lighthouse and don't actually see this cliff. You can also see, and I might use a polarizer to emphasize this, that there's super clear water down there. It looks awesome, so I'm going to bracket to make sure that I get the shadows to show just how clear the water down there is, and I want to pick a focal length that really emphasizes that, as well as the cliff face, and there's a person on top of that cliff that you might be able to see there as well. So, a couple of things I'm going to try. Okay, so to show you the point of polarization, here is an unpolarized shot, and here is a polarized shot. Take a look at the rocks in the corner. Looks so much better. Right, mission accomplished, I think. Fingers like frozen sausages again. Time for some wine.
Yes.
Yes. This was all Emily. Mostly Emily. Absolutely demolished it.
Right, plan for day 3 of this video. I think it's day 3. It's been a while since I did a multi-day video. Usually I just make them in a few hours, as you can probably tell. But we're going to drive around the very top of the island up here, which we've done a few times already. It looks really, really nice, and I'm going to make much more of an effort to try and document that this time, because the first couple of times we did it, I was just like, oh, this is nice. The second part of today's plan is to go to Ferry Pools, which is, well, pretty much the south of the island, and that is probably going to take ages to get to. But hopefully it'll be worth it, because we've been promised excellent waterfalls and maybe fairies.
How quintessentially British does that look? Basically, I just want to show that this telephone box is in the middle of nowhere for apparently no reason. I bet Emily went to go and read that sign. What did the sign say?
Oh, it wasn't that interesting.
Look at that. I mean, if that's not an interesting subject, I don't know what is. Not as many stops on this road as I thought there'd be today. When we've been through in the past couple of days, there have been cows and sheep in the road and all sorts of stuff, but not today. Roadside pullovers are the best. Literally requires no work other than keeping your eyes open while your better half drives. Perfect. Good news.
Yeah.
That was worth it.
Was it?
Cool picture.
It does look really nice.
Oh, Oh, yes. Well, isn't this place just lovely? I mean, it's not the fairy pools. We went to the fairy pools, but we didn't fancy the look of the 300 plus cars in the car park. It's very, very busy, and it feels strange to come to a place like the Isle of Skye and be surrounded by people. So we drove a little bit further down the road, and we've come here. Our second attempt to come here after our first attempt, well, we got the wrong stream, basically, and followed the wrong stream up the mountain. About half an hour up a quite steep hill, to be honest. Completely Emily's fault. Fair?
No.
I don't know if you can see, there's a slither of a bank of cloud on its way. Fingers crossed. It's not many hours later. It's a little bit later, but not many hours. To be honest, this isn't just a photography trip, so we can't wait until the end of time for the light to get good. But hopefully, at some point soon, I'll be able to come back here because, well, it's awesome. Also, you might be able to see the mud on my knee. I fell over twice. So it feels like an eternity ago when I was talking about photography tools and how an inspiring subject is the most important of those photography tools. And this week here in the Isle of Skye has really brought home to me that, well, trips like this are definitely the most important thing to spend money on when it comes to photography. If you're ever in a position where you're weighing up a new camera versus a couple of photography trips, always, always, always go with the photography trips. So long as you have a working camera, go with the photography trips. Because you can read all the camera reviews that you want, you can buy all the camera gear that you want, but it's never gonna do as much for your photography as coming and actually taking photos in the kinds of places that you think will yield your kinds of photos. And Skye for me is certainly that kind of place. I think it was 3 days ago that I was talking about stuff like that. It might have been 4. In any case, thanks for watching. Hopefully it was in some way useful, and I'll see you next time when I'll still be in Skye and I'll have done a bit more of a normal video for my channel, i.e. I'll have stood somewhere for a couple of hours spouting nonsense and I'll have edited that into about 10 minutes. Probably.
Hello everybody, I'm back home again now. By the magic of time travel. That and 12 hours in a car with literally countless stops for sausage rolls. Anyway, this video is very kindly sponsored by Squarespace, and as I've said in other videos, I've been using Squarespace for years now, and I'm thinking of starting a blog on my Squarespace website. And up until yesterday, I thought that was a new, unique thing for me. Turns out, I have actually started a blog before. Completely forgot about it. The posts aren't live, but one of them was 27 things or something like that I've learned from living in Australia. I think it was about 5 years ago when I was living in Australia. A couple of the things I noted: Australians don't wear shoes in shops. That's pretty cool. Shark nets don't go to the bottom of the sea. That's not cool. And I reckon if you want to burgle an Australian, you should do it at about 6 AM on a Sunday. In Sydney at least, because at that time, literally everyone is out exercising. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm thinking about getting those wheels turning again. Maybe I'll do a post about all the things I learned going to Skye. Anyway, the point is it's very easy to start a blog on your Squarespace website, just like it's very easy to do anything on your Squarespace website. You don't need any coding knowledge or anything like that. And if you'd like to try it out, then go to squarespace.com to start a free trial. And if after that you want to make a purchase, then go to squarespace.com/James for 10% off that first purchase. So yeah, a big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. And I'll see you next time, again from Skye. As I said, hopefully, I've not checked the footage for the other video I filmed yet. It might be completely rubbish. We'll see. I'll see you then.